Real Madrid versus Villareal. What a game. It just ended. That was a wild game. MBAPPE is going to give Real Madrid the 3 points with a huge 2 goals. And Real Madrid's going to walk out of a stadium they haven't won in many, many years. They have not won in this stadium. And today they picked up a huge win against Villareal in a stupidly hard game for them. And a game that truly, in my opinion, they actually made a little bit harder than it had to be. A game that they made harder for themselves at the end of the day, because there was so many opportunities for Real Madrid to kill off this game. But there was also, because they didn't kill off the game, so many opportunities for Villareal to tie this game and steal points from Real Madrid. So there's a few things I actually want to talk about and touch on. And the things I'm going to say here are really going to bring up a lot of question marks, and a lot of people are going to not agree with me. And that's the beautiful thing about football, is that we don't always have to agree with each other. But over the last few games, over the last few weeks, I don't think Vinny has helped Real Madrid much. And I say this, like, honestly, in trying to say it in the nicest way possible, because I love Vinicius Jr. He's one of the most exciting wingers in world football. He brings the joy of football to the game, right? Like the dancing and the skill moves and the fun times. But the truth is, right now, it feels less fun, and it feels more forced, and it feels more egoed, and it feels more not Vinicius Jr. And I don't know if it's the hey, I'm going to win the Ballon d'Or, and then the Ballon d'Or going to Rodri completely ruined him. I don't know, and I don't want to say ruin him because he's still a phenomenal player, but completely ruined maybe his mental state. But the things I'm seeing from Vinicius Jr. on the field are just not Vinicius Jr. And when I look at the first half compared to the second half when Vinny came in, I think the team was better without Vinicius Jr. on the field. And I actually think that MBAPPE is better when Vinicius Jr. is not on the field. And this is for many reasons, and I'm going to explain the many reasons. The first one is this: Vinicius Jr. does not defend. And I understand it. When you're that much of a superstar, when you're that much of a great player, when you're that much of an insane player, a lot of times they don't defend, right? But when you have an MBAPPE that doesn't defend, you have a Vinny that doesn't defend, it starts to become very hard for the rest of the players on the team. And it starts to become very easy to attack Real Madrid a certain way. That's one thing I notice. The second thing I notice is it feels like when Vinicius Jr. is on the field, that it's like he's trying to make everything look too pretty. I'm going to give you an example. It was close to the 90th minute, like the last 10 minutes of the game, probably the 80-something minute, and there's a huge breakaway. The ball gets knocked up to MBAPPE. He does this amazing flick, like this back heel flick in the air. By the way, which is a fancy play that he doesn't do it because he has to, because he wants to and make it look pretty. He does it because it's the best option. So he does this and he flicks it to Vinicius Jr. And now it's a breakaway. And in this breakaway, you have Vinicius Jr. and you have MBAPPE and one Villareal defender and the goalie. Now, Vinny is fast. MBAPPE is fast. Vinny has all this room ahead of him. And he goes for almost like a Trivela type, but he just tries to cross it, right? It's not even a Trivela, it's just a cross. He just tries to get the ball to MBAPPE too soon. And it goes right to the defender. And this is a game that you can kill off for your teammates. Your teammates and yourself just ran 120 minutes against Atletico Madrid and a penalty shootout 2-3 days ago. Your team's exhausted. They can't take their legs. And Vinicius Jr. decides to cross the ball with all of this space ahead of him. He could have ran this all the way into the box and then passed it to MBAPPE, shot it to the near post, shot it to the far post. Instead, he crosses the ball before they're even close to the box. And for me, it's just really poor decision-making. And too much of getting involved with the ref, too much of the getting involved with the fans, and too much of poor decisions right now to say that Vinny is at a high level. Can Vinny be at a high level? Yes. Can Vinny win a Ballon d'Or? In my opinion, yes. Is Vinny one of the best wingers in football? Yes, if not the best when he's on. But the truth is, there's a lot of stuff going on the side. And then you see Rafinha No stuff going on the side. Strictly football. Strictly goals, strictly assists, strictly football. And that's what Vinny used to be, just football, bro. And then after you did your play, after you scored, he danced and he did what he had to do. But it just feels like it's too much distractions when Vinny's on the field for this Madrid team. Mbappe should have had a hat trick if Vinny played that correctly. Mbappe gave it everything he could. You could see he couldn't run anymore. And the team, in my opinion, didn't benefit from Vinicius Jr. coming in. If anything, I think the team got a little bit worse when Vinicius Jr. came in. And that's weird to me because Vinicius Jr., like I said, is top 3 wingers in the world. And you sub him in and it doesn't really I think Brahim Diaz is more impactful for Real Madrid over the last month of football. I think Rodrigo is more impactful for this team. I think Asensio has been more impactful for this team. I think Rudiger has been more impactful for this team. I think Courtois has been more impactful for this team. I think Rodrigo has been more impactful for this team. I think Valverde has been more impactful for this team. I think that almost the entire starting 11 has been more impactful than Vinicius Jr. over the last few weeks. And I know that's being harsh, but it's what I'm seeing after he didn't win that Ballon d'Or. And it kind of gets to me, man. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me because Vinny is that guy and it's just not clicking for him. And I know it's about being patient because we had to be patient with Mbappe, and now we're seeing a form of Mbappe that's just amazing. I think Mbappe now has 31 goals for Real Madrid this season, 20 in La Liga. I made a prediction he would score 37 in La Liga before the season started. He's not going to hit 37, I don't think. I mean, that's with 10 games left, he would need 17 goals. That's probably not going to happen. But I do see him scoring. He's at 31 already, 40, 50 goals probably in all competitions. I could see that happening. There's still a few competitions that he's in, still a lot of games left. So I could see him bag another 10, 15 goals. But for sure, man, it's sad to see because I love Vinicius Jr., right? I think Vinicius Jr. is absolutely phenomenal, but I would just love to see more on the field from him. And I don't want to be up here. There's 2 videos in a row where I've kind of got on Vinicius Jr., but I think it's okay to get on a player a little bit when you expect so much from them. I think Vinicius Jr. is world class, a top player. And it's just really, really sad to see that it almost feels like Real Madrid is better when he's not on the field. And that's not anything to say with Vinny. Maybe the team's better with Vinny and no Mbappe there. Or maybe the team's better with Mbappe and no Vinny there. Maybe they just don't really work well together. I'm not sure. I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is Real Madrid looked a lot better in the first half than they did in the second half because of just really, really, in my opinion, poor decision making. Either way, huge 3 points for Real Madrid. The ball is now in Barcelona's court, if that makes sense, because Real Madrid did what they had to do, especially coming off of no rest, right? They barely had any rest at all. They are now officially in first place by themselves. But mind you, Barcelona has games to play. So Barcelona, I believe, is 2 games back. I want to say 2 games back right now. And Barcelona plays, I want to say tomorrow. I think Barca plays tomorrow. Barcelona plays tomorrow against Atletico Madrid. So, and they go to Atletico Madrid. This is a very, very hard game for Barcelona. A very, very tough game for Barcelona. And Real Madrid has now put the pressure on Barcelona because they got their 3 points. And now you have to go beat Atletico Madrid in Atletico Madrid. And we know how good Atletico Madrid is. We know how great their last game was, Atletico Barca's game. And we know how tough it was for Madrid in the Champions League. So it's going to be a pretty awesome game. I can't wait for that game tomorrow. Is that at the same time as my Benfica? I hope it's not at the same time as my Benfica. Oh, man, let me check really quickly. It's going to be at the same time. Nah, Benfica's at 2. Let's go, man. Benfica plays 2. They play 4. Perfect. We watch Benfica, then we watch Barcelona. We're cooking. I think Barcelona is going to beat Atletico Madrid, but it's going to be a very, very tough game. Like I said, Real Madrid put the ball in their court. But before we, get to the end of this video, I do want to say Mbappe's been awesome. Mbappe's been amazing. Mbappe over the last few weeks is getting back to the Mbappe of the French league. He is a phenomenal superstar. He is amazing on the ball. He scores unbelievable goals. He's doing what he needs to do against Atletico Madrid. He won the penalty. Against Atletico Madrid, he scored his penalty. Today, he scored 2 goals. He's scoring pretty much every La Liga match now. And I know a lot of people thought, when I said the world got to get ready type thing, that I was trolling. But Mbappe is a phenomenal player, man. His speed, his finishing is awesome. And he is going to be a problem for the entire world for years to come. Does that mean that Barcelona is never going to win nothing else? No, Barcelona is still going to win La Ligas. Barcelona is still going to win a Champions League soon, maybe this year. Mbappe's not going to stop them of all that, but Mbappe is going to be a problem for Barcelona for the next few years because he's just such a phenomenal player. That doesn't mean they're not going to win stuff. That doesn't mean they're not going to beat Real Madrid. They are going to beat Real Madrid because they have phenomenal players like Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, the list goes on, Pedri, the list goes on. But Mbappe will be a problem for Real Madrid, just like for Barca, just like Lamine Yamal will be a problem for Real Madrid. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Please get in the comments down below and let me know what you think about Vinicius Jr., man. I really hope Vinny gets back to smiling, having fun, back to the ways of just dominating on the field and less of the pointing at the badge, yelling at the refs. I hope he gets back to the old Vinny. The old Vinny was fun.